This is Maria Marino on NBC Sports Radio and NBCSportsRadio.com.
This is KCAA.
FoodForLiberty.com sells high-quality, storable foods from Numana. And right now, take advantage of our summer special. Purchase 2 family packs and we'll send you a Pro Pure Water Pitcher, a $70 value, free. This premium pitcher is ideal for use with just about any water source and removes more contaminants than other brands. And it comes with a filter that lasts up to 2 full years. Whether you need to be prepared in the event of an emergency, you're an outdoor sports enthusiast, Numana is known for high-quality, great-tasting, GMO-free, super nutritious food with no chemical preservatives. And with a 25-year shelf life, you can't beat the feeling of being food secure when you need it most. Go to foodforliberty.com right now for great-tasting, high-quality, storable foods from Numana. Buy 2 family packs and get the Pro Pure Water Pitcher free. It makes good sense to be prepared. Get it at foodforliberty.com.
Ringling Brothers and Barnum & Bailey presents Out of This World, brought to you by Chick-fil-A of Southern California. Imaginations will skyrocket on this galactic journey through extraordinary new worlds with unexpected surprises and thrills at every turn. Ringling Brothers presents Out of This World, a family experience light years beyond your expectations. The countdown begins now. Stop by any participating Chick-fil-A restaurant and pick up a voucher to get kids tickets for $10. Restrictions and charges apply. See voucher for details. Playing now at Staples Center.
We are the first people students see when they arrive at school. We are the secretaries that greet students with smiles. We turn on the lights. We keep schools clean and free of hazards. We help children learn to read, write, and think critically. We prepare and serve nutritious food. We are the watchful eyes on campus. We are classified employees. And we are the California School Employees Association, dedicated to educating students. Visit us on the web at www.csea.com.
Eddie James Lowry was a 22-year-old soldier whose life was turned totally upside down. Arrested for a sexual assault that he did not commit, he was bullied by detectives behind closed doors for hours with no food, no water, no attorney, and no alibi. He would spend 10 years of his life in prison for a terrible crime that he had absolutely nothing to do with. Thanks to modern DNA science and the Innocence Project, he was finally exonerated. Eddie Lowry is now an Inland Empire resident. You will hear his story live on Saturday afternoon at 4 on the Paramedic Heretic program here on KCAA AM and FM.
The views of the individuals expressed in the following program do not represent Broadcast Management Services, Inc., KCAA, management, or personnel.
Welcome to I'm Mad as Hell with Lloyd Brock and Greg Simpson. Now, if you want to share your anger, this is the station, KCAA, every Saturday at 12 noon. If you're mad as hell at the government, politicians, IRS, your bank, a car dealer, or the court system, let us know. You may want to be one of our in-studio guests, or just call in and vent that anger. 1-888-909-1050 or 909-888-5222 locally. We may not be able to resolve your individual problems, but we will give you a forum to share your anger with our listeners. Now, join us at KCAA 1050 AM and at KCAAradio.com or check us out at Ustream. Now, here's Lloyd and Greg.
No, we're not. We're not going to take it. No more. Anymore. Anymore. Woo. No more. Take it. So here it is. Well, here it is. Mad as hell again. Yeah, me too. Yeah, all this things, let's face it, you know, this Dallas thing. Yeah, just killing of our police officers. I mean, this is a tragedy, a nationwide tragedy. And you know, just as and our condolences go out to the family.
Oh, absolutely.
And these officers and the guys in blue, because, I mean, they really protect us.
Sure.
And have always been, a supporter of the police. But, there's always some bad apples in every single, I don't care who it is. We know that from politics.
Sure we do.
We have politicians that are screwing up
rotten,
all the time.
Absolutely.
Some are admonished, and sometimes years later they're put in jail.
That's right.
For things that they've done.
Well, human race are sinful and fallen, and it's real. Anybody can sin, anybody can cause grief, anybody can lose their direction, if you will.
But look,
and
it's based on hate.
Hate, that's exactly right.
And
you breed hate, and hate keeps breeding itself, over and over.
We saw that from years gone by, and
sure,
a lot of people think this is a resurgence of the 60s.
It's nothing.
And no, Obama says no. He says we're not having riots yet.
Yeah. But yet his wife, Angela Davis, clone from the 60s.
Oh.
What in the world, How can you not have the 60s when the 60s lives again?
Well, and I brought up the fact that we had a terrorist attack every year that he's been our president.
Sure.
Now, he was supposed to be a uniter.
A uniter, yes.
But I think he's been a very good divider because
we
have more bad race relationships since he's been in office.
Well, of course, way more. It's terrible.
And with Hillary, I think we'll have much of the same.
Well, much more of the same, and it's she has an agenda that just, if you read her agenda, wow.
I mean, it's terrible. We've got, in fact,
just look at her track record.
Here, she had this news conference. Well, you can call it that.
Okay. Probably a fundraiser, right?
No, she was talking interview with CNN and MSNBC.
Okay, wow.
Both friendly, and she said
yeah,
she's brushing off the rebuke of James Comey, the FBI director, who had criticized her for being negligent. She said, "Oh no, I wasn't."
She ought to kiss him on the lips. He gave her the biggest favor of anybody.
Oh my God!
He divided our law. He divided into a Clinton law here and everybody else here.
And she denies this thing that she said she never had any classified material. He's already proven her a liar on that, and other
her
things
husband
too.
said he didn't have any sexual relations with that woman too.
Oh yeah, that's true.
I mean, they come from the same ilk, right?
So you'll believe what you want to believe.
That's right.
And as I say, there's nobody can tell you the same. But here, we get back to race relations in this country are not in a good place.
They're not. They're not well.
My wife was Hispanic,
and
I was married many years, and I had my 3 children are obviously Hispanic.
Hispanic, okay.
And they've gone through discrimination many times. And I've seen it with her too.
With your wife?
She used to tell me, yeah. She said, "Oh, these they follow me around when I go to a dress shop or something like that. The clerks sometimes follow me around." And I thought she was making it up until one day we went in to this dress shop, and she was the only one there. And the clerk left from behind the counter, and I was sitting up front waiting for her. And I saw that clerk follow her every single aisle.
Oh my goodness!
And I said, "You're right."
Yeah. Did you say something?
She said, "Well, they think all Mexicans are thieves."
Yeah.
And so they do this.
They do that.
As I say, that still happens today.
Yeah.
If you're black,
but now
Hispanic,
they call it something. They call it profiling.
Well,
and it is.
They've been doing it for years, and they still will.
But when you have a suspect that's obviously that race or whatever, don't leave them out because you might get called for profiling.
They've gone overboard to allow Muslims to pass through our system at the airports and things like that. But I mean, I think some things deserve profiling.
Yes, exactly.
And especially if they were a danger to our society.
That's right. And the current danger, not a past or anything, it's a present danger.
But I think this whole thing about the hate groups and a lot of, as I say, I'm sure that there's resentment. One of my sons was in a band, and he played in Orange County one time, and he was staying over at a friend's house, and they were making too much noise, so the police came there and told him to calm down, the music. So they did. They came back, and they said, "Anybody who doesn't live here, leave." He said, well, he's my friend. I'm staying overnight. He said, get out. And forced him down the stairs, pulled him, and then he's walking, and he said, I can't believe you're doing this. And they pushed him down the stairs. And then over there, they said he confronted him, so they arrested him. Now, that's
ridiculous, yeah.
Being arrested for being Mexican, that was it.
Yeah. In the wrong city, right? Yeah.
In the wrong city.
Yeah, in the wrong area.
Yeah, and they never prosecuted, but I mean, still it was it cost money for us to get a lawyer to get him out and all this other stuff, and I can see that, and I just because I'm white, it doesn't mean that I don't understand.
I don't either, yeah, but I've had it done to me, because I'm dark complected, and we lived in a area that was all white.
Yeah,
there was no blacks for a long time. And I'm the only one that stood out, so I got really pointed the finger at like I was definitely black or something. It was awful.
Did you ever do your DNA?
No, I haven't.
You might have.
Maybe I should. Huh?
Yeah, but this is ridiculous. They're painting everybody with the same brush.
Sure.
Just like the police department.
Yeah.
Just a couple of bad apples in there, and you're gonna have it in police departments.
Sure.
And they've said that. They talked to the guy, the commissioner of the New York City Police, and he said, of course you're going to have a few that slip through the cracks.
Sure.
We have them in L.A. I'm sure they got them here in San Bernardino.
Oh, yeah, everywhere,
I knew of one that was disciplined, and he was let go, but and he hated Mexicans.
That's right.
And he used to harass them.
That's right.
And finally they got rid of him. But, these are things that you can't paint everybody with the same brush.
That's right.
Say they're all evil or all bad, because they're not. Even the Muslims, there's some good ones.
Yeah.
I know a couple.
Yeah.
A few.
I know a couple myself.
Yeah, and they're good people.
Yeah.
And law-abiding citizens. And they wouldn't hurt anyone. And I asked them about the Quran. They said, well, we don't believe a lot
That's right.
of that.
That's the problem. They don't believe in the Quran, the good ones that I've found.
Well, even the ones that are Muslim that are over here said, look, there's some things in your Bible that are very detrimental that you don't
follow,
abide by.
Yeah.
And he said the same thing here. We don't believe in stoning women and doing all this other stuff.
Killing the infidel and all that stuff. Yet it's called for in their book,
Yeah. But I mean, it can be probably in centuries coming ahead it might be rewritten. You never know.
Yeah, you just never know.
We've got a commercial coming up, and we'll be right back in a few minutes. Wow, am I thirsty? Whoa.
Are you really?
Yes.
I think you should come up to Oak Hills Brewing Company, home of the best brews in the high desert.
High desert? That's where I'm from.
Oh, do you know Floyd?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
His brother Lloyd. Yeah, I know him.
Say hello to Floyd. Founded by two entrepreneurs, these big dreams turned into Oak Hills Brewing Company. They have yummy brews, select ales, craft sodas, root beer, ginger ale, and cream soda for the kids.
How many?
How many kids?
How many brews?
I don't care how many kids come up.
Oh, okay.
They have 3 brews.
Okay.
For kids. Then they have 13 brews for adults.
Oh, love it. Love it. Love it.
I'm glad. Oak Hills Brewing. Mondays, 5 to 9. Thursdays, 3 to 9. Friday, 1 to 10. And Saturday, 1 to 10. Oak Hills Brewing Company.
I'm going up right now.
Do you know how to get there?
Yeah, almost.
Okay, well, let me just make sure. 15 north to the 395, past 2 signals, turn right on Poplar, and you're there. OakHillsBrewing.com.
On my way.
Welcome back to Mad as Hell.
Hey, we got a call.
Yeah, we got a call. Let's take
let's take this call.
Take the call. You got the call yet?
Yeah. Well, you're in.
All right. What's happening, guys? How you doing? This is Brent, and I'm still mad as hell about drone haters. But for now, I'm with you guys. This whole thing in Texas and the racial bigotry and all this. Somehow I don't know how we're going to stop it, but if we can all do our part to help out, I'm with it all the way.
Well, that's good. I mean, that's it's kind of out of control, and I don't know how they put a control mechanism in place to stop it. I don't have any idea.
Yeah.
But
Do you have any ideas,
that's
Brent?
the trick, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think
that's
with
a
your
good trick.
with your drones, I suggested this a long time ago. Years ago when they had those riots in L.A. after the Lakers game or something like that, and they were turning over cars and things like that and just going wild. I said, what we need is for somebody to come over with a helicopter and drop something on these people. And I was talking about, at that time, like paintballs. So you could identify the people, the cops, and say, all right, there's red paintballs. That guy was involved in this deal. That one was there. But, with the drones now, they'd be able to, I think they could use those in riot control in many ways.
Oh, yeah, shoot some Roman candles at some of these people.
Well, they could. Or,
Could you photograph them?
Stop them in their tracks.
Oh, yeah. Well,
could you photo them for later on to identify them later?
Yeah, you could.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe even a drone over there, and if they had one flying above that protest, they could have zeroed in on the window where that guy was actually the sniper was. And that could have been a help.
With the high resolution, absolutely. You could take a huge picture of an area and blow that up almost endless, down to finding an ant on a windowsill.
Oh, yeah. You could tell the guy who he was.
Yeah, there you go.
Go right after him. And, that might have, maybe in the future, they'll use drones for all riots and protests.
Sure.
And
you could probably drop 10 pounds of fiberglass on them and identify them later.
But yeah, it's kind of like a slap in the face. Hey, knock it off! Wake up! This is a civilized society
That's
here.
Right. Yeah.
Don't overcard the end of the game. Come on.
You're hurting innocent people.
Yeah.
Come on.
Okay. I'm sorry.
No. There was innocent people that were shot.
That's
and
right.
This is basically
just doing their job, and this guy come out.
Well, you can you can fire a weapon from a drone too. They're doing.
Yes, I was just watching a new video. I forgot what it's called, Haster or something like that. They were showing a drone that can throw flames, and they were barbecuing a chicken, rotisserie style, and another one was shooting a shotgun. Pretty successfully, especially for a hovering device. I was impressed with its abilities. I have no desire. I don't deal with guns or anything like that. I don't have no desire to that. But as far as stopping riots, yeah, a paint gun, one of those things.
Or taking
like
somebody out like this.
Absolutely could be used.
Sure, you could take a terrorist guy like this guy out with a drone. They took him out with a robot, I guess.
Well, yeah, it's quite controversial about that, but
why should
might
that
as well
be
blow him up.
controversial? Yeah, they might as well blow him up as anything.
Well, that saved the taxpayer a lot of money in trials.
For sure.
That would go on and on and on forever, and so So keep up the good drone work.
Yeah, keep it up. We enjoyed having you on the show. Come back, see us too.
Oh, I'd love to. I enjoyed it. It was a good time. So, yeah, well, definitely. I like educating people, helping them out with this kind of thing. And I just want to say, me too, I'm not a big fan of cops for the most part of the fact that they just get away with doing stuff. But it doesn't just be line of jail. I also have respect. We need them still.
Sure.
Necessary evil. And, regardless, I don't care how much you hate somebody, nobody deserves to be shot and killed. I mean, unless they have really wronged you in sort of the same way. I don't believe anybody
self-defense.
doing their job,
Self-defense.
It's out of line.
Yeah.
It's way out of line. Thank you for the call,
Yeah. Okay, we'll talk to you later. Thanks again.
Thanks for having me on again. I love talking with you. You're awesome people.
We'll
All
get
right,
done.
thanks.
Bye-bye.
All right, guys. Bye.
Bye-bye. I want to remind the people, too, that we've got, you got to call us locally about anything that you're mad as hell about, and our local number is 1-909-888-5222.
And if you're anywhere in the world, you can call us at 1-888-909-1050.
Yeah, that's long distance.
Long distance.
Could be very long distance.
Very long distance. It doesn't matter. You can call from anywhere. Just do it.
Yeah, we'd love to hear from you.
Yep.
Our next,
I'm going to do a story that sickens me, and it should sicken any of our people.
Listeners.
Yeah, listeners and other people. Anyway, a couple are pleading guilty to a child sex abuse case. And what it is 2 22-year-old, a man and a wife, have 2 7-year-old children that they sexually abused for a long time, it looks like, down in Oceanside, which is a beach community. Vista.
Yeah.
And they're charged with multiple counts, conspiracy to molest, conspiracy to kidnap for the purpose of molestation, 3 counts of child molestation, forcible lewd acts on a child, and they face life in prison if convicted.
They videotaped that.
And they videotaped it. That's another important thing.
2 7-year-olds, and they were babysitting supposedly.
What mangles my mind is that you have a bail of $2.6 million. That means these people can be released.
Well, that's
and you'd be surprised. $2.6 million sounds like a humongous bail, but sometimes people make that bail. People come.
Well, yeah,
to
they
their
put
aid.
up their houses and things like that,
and other people
parents.
just come to their aid, and help them out. They should be with no until they're found guilty or freed. They should be in there with no bail. That's
because
ridiculous.
I think they're a flight.
I think they're a flight risk. Wouldn't you be?
Yes.
Of
course.
Of course you will. Anyway, this is a society that hopefully, in this case, they've got them, and these girls can get good counseling and come out of this thing. But what a horrible.
Well, I want to caution the people
thing to
that
report.
have babysitters.
Yeah.
Do a background. Make sure
Do
that
something.
they're who they are.
Yes. It's not like in the old days where you could call the neighbor over and have her babysit or him babysit.
Yeah, that's true.
It's not that way anymore, guys.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
This world is, and if you have a babysitter in your home, it's always good to have a camera there.
Make sure you
have
place
a hidden
them.
camera.
Yeah.
And so anyway,
and those camera setups aren't expensive. You can probably do it for a couple $100.
That's true. Here's another thing.
Okay.
On the same vein.
Oh boy.
Insurgents selling captives as sex slaves.
Wow.
Now this is in Iraq.
Okay.
But it says the advertisement on the Telegram app is as chilling as it is courageous. A girl for sale, and it says virgin, beautiful, 12-year-old. Her price has reached $12,500, and she will be sold soon.
Well, they're gonna take it out of the inventory in heaven, huh?
I mean, how in the world they allow them to even post this?
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
It said the posting in Arabic appeared in an encrypted conversation along with ads for kittens, weapons, tactical gear, and other things. It was shared with the Associated Press by the activist with the minority Yazidi community, whose women and children are being held as sex slaves by the extremists, and they're selling them online.
And where do they go? In the Orient?
I mean,
or is there an area that they go to, or local, or do you know? Did it say?
This is outrageous.
It is outrageous.
This whole thing is outrageous, and I'm going to read you an article, and it'll be coming up.
Okay.
But it's about the United Nations.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and they're talking about. I'll find the article in a minute.
Well, let me talk about this ISIS thing. They had some terrorist attacks over in Saudi Arabia. And some of the people, I've talked to some of the people that are Arabian of nature. They're not necessarily Muslim, but they talked about how these terrorist acts are very suspicious. There was 3 of them. And how the number of lives that were taken was very low. And they interviewed a couple of the security guards, and these people were directed into the prayer room where there was just loaded with people, and they could have killed hundreds of people. But the guy, instead of going in there for some reason, it looked like he was planned. He ran away and blew himself up with only 1 or 2 people around him. Suspicious or not, it's certainly weird. That,
to say the least,
that he'd have a room full of victims, and you're got one shot. You're not going to do it over again. This is it.
Yeah.
And you would limit your death toll. So, and it happened 3 times that way. So I wonder if maybe the Saudis who trained a lot of those ISIS people are trying to cover up. Anyway, that was the speculation of this group of Arabian people, that they just may be trying to cover up. So I wanted to report that.
Oh, that's it. Here it is, United Nations. You remember our United Nations?
Yeah, I remember it. It was once intact, yeah.
If you teach kids Christianity at school, it violates their human rights. That's what they're saying.
Oh, I know. Anything anti-Christian, boy, is good today.
Here is just another in a long line of examples of why the United States needs to not only defund the United Nations, but remove ourselves from it and the organization from our soils. In a recent paper put out by the United Nations Committee on the Rights of Children, the CRC said they demanding that children engage in daily acts of Christian worship at schools may go against their freedom of thought, conscience, and religion. Do you believe that?
No, I can't. I can't believe it.
Britain must stop forcing children to attend Christian school assemblies because it undermines their human rights, United Nations Committee has said in the controversial new report. What in the world are these people talking about? How many Muslim nations belong to United Nations?
Yeah, exactly.
And nobody tells them how to teach their children. And the radical Muslims are teaching them how to blow themselves up. How to kill the infidels.
Yeah, the infidel would be a Christian for sure.
And daily prayer.
Yeah.
And here they are criticizing Christians.
Yeah.
Now, that takes a lot of gall.
Yeah, it does.
We don't need to be in the United Nations, period.
I agree with you.
I mean, it's ridiculous. Yeah. The whole 9 yards. If you have any comments about that, be sure to call us, too.
Let us know. Come on. I know you're out there, and I know you have thoughts and questions. Call us and give it to us. You know, you don't have to be nice to us either.
Especially, if you're Christian and you don't...
you don't agree with, or you agree with this, that should happen. I don't think you will, but if you do, call us.
I mean, that's ridiculous. I went to Catholic school.
Yeah.
You see how I turned out?
Yeah, perfect. Almost perfect.
Sure.
Well,
I did. And those were really mean nuns.
Oh, yeah, they were. I've heard some good stories about that. And, ruler across the knuckles.
They wore the habits.
Yeah?
You know, and I could have sworn they had eyes in the back of their head because they'd always say, Lloyd, put that down. Wait, they have their back turned to me. Where's the mirror? I don't know.
Yeah, they're pretty good.
Sent me to the office,
Uh-huh.
Because I was talking.
Were you talking?
Yeah, and then he said,
Put
your hand out. I put my hand out, and they had slapped me with a ruler.
Oh, yeah.
And that hurt.
I've heard about that.
I went through it.
Yeah,
but I came out okay.
Yeah, they used the board on my butt when I grew up.
Oh, yeah?
SWAT, yeah. Boy.
We got a commercial, but we'll be right back.
You're listening to KCAA Loma Linda at 106.5 FM, K293CF Moreno Valley.
Money, money, money!
Most of us need extra money. Well, if you own something of value, go to Rich's Jewelry and Loan in Ontario. He'll loan you money on jewelry, musical instruments, tools, electronics, and almost anything of value. Or if you prefer, he'll purchase the item from you. And if you need a great buy in diamonds or a Rolex watch, Rich can save you hundreds of dollars. Don't waste time. Go to Rich's Jewelry and Loan, 124 West Holt Boulevard in Ontario. Give Rich a call, 986-2604, and tell him what you'd like to sell or bring in for a loan.
Loans!
Rich's Jewelry and Loan, 124 West Holt Boulevard, Ontario.
Thanks for waiting. Lloyd and Greg are back.
Gotta go to Rich's.
Gotta go to Rich's.
Yeah. They loan you money on anything, and you want to buy something, you can't find a better place to buy it. You know, tools.
Tools, yeah.
Got a lot of tools. He's got
a lot
musical
of instruments, yeah.
Watches,
TVs, watches,
diamonds
galore.
Oh yeah.
And,
I mean,
rubies, emeralds.
You want to buy your girl a ring?
Yeah,
go to
there.
Rich's Jewelry Loan in Ontario because he's got a lot of loose diamonds.
Yeah.
He'll put them in a brand new setting.
Every size you can imagine.
And there's no such thing as a used diamond. They don't ever wear out. Only the mounting does.
That's right.
But he'll put it in a brand new mounting for you.
Yep.
And you can save. I've had people save a couple of $1,000.
Yeah, I know.
By buying them from there.
I saved over $1,000 on some earrings he made for my wife, some ruby earrings, and I saved well over $1,000.
I bought some emerald ones a long time ago. That was a really good deal.
Yeah, I was going to get emerald, but rubies. My wife said she'd like to have a pair of rubies.
Okay.
And so we got it. So go see Rich.
Yep.
Okay, here I got a story. I alluded to it earlier, and it says, the FBI has spoken. If I had been anyone else but a Clinton, the decision by the FBI would have been different, and that person would have been found guilty of what? A criminal act. It says the FBI criticized Hillary for sending out known secret emails that she contends weren't marked, while the FBI implied that the statement was a lie. And even though the policy for sending out federal email was violated by Hillary, they won't find her behavior criminal. The fix was in, as many people believe, and that's me included. It says it boils down to one simple fact: careless handling, gross negligence, stupidity. Do we want a president to make stupid decisions? Not me.
No.
He said that just proves Hillary's gross incompetence to handle any office in government, period. Obama is pushing all this under the carpet and endorsing Hillary so he can keep the Obama policies going, including Obamacare. Millions of dollars are going to be pouring into the Hillary camp to make sure she wins this election. The Democratic machine will put their entire team out there to defeat the Trump campaign. We can't let this happen. Corruption, corruption, and more corruption. That's the result of the administration policy, and it runs deep into every branch of government, into every appointment, into everything that this man has done. Now, keep Hillary out of the White House. That's your duty. That's your obligation, people. Keep this woman out of the White House.
Well, yeah. Hey, I've got something else that might be of interest to people. It says federal background check. Before a person can be hired for the federal job, they must undergo a background check. And if you want a job with the Secret Service or the FBI, that background check is more intrusive, and I should know because I worked for Treasury, and Secret Service checked on my background.
Sure.
And they did it every 3 years.
Was it a 3-year deal?
Yeah, and then they contacted my neighbors, find out if I'm a good citizen, if I'm fighting with my wife, and then, how the children are. And it's very
if you kick your dog.
Extensive, yeah. And this applies to everyone except politicians. Obama would never have been able to hold the federal job under the Office of Personnel Rules, and yet he's in charge of all personnel in every department, even the FBI. A background check of Obama would have found the communist friends that he had and much more that would have disqualified him for federal employment, including those pictures of him smoking marijuana.
Yeah.
And they
Look
said
at the
he
number
even
of
sold
criminal friends this guy has. I mean, come on. Yeah, a lot.
But as I say, he wouldn't have been able to pass that background check.
Heck no.
And after today's findings, this was the other day, by the FBI, Hillary couldn't be trusted with secret information and wouldn't be accepted for any position in the federal government, and yet she's asking the people to vote for her President of the United States.
Yeah.
How stupid can these voters be?
I mean, that's ridiculous.
Wake up, America, and don't fall for the more of the Hillary lies.
Yeah, why would you vote for Hillary? Call us and tell us.
It would be a third term for Obama.
Yeah,
that's
would
what,
it? Yeah. And worse.
Oh, yeah.
And worse.
So, that's it. They can't pass that background check, and yet they'll be in charge of all the secrets.
Sure, everything.
Which she can't
control. Or keep for a second. And then if she does, she lies, so.
Anyway, a reminder again, call us. Local number, 1-909-888-5222.
Okay, I want to speak a little about the community hospital. We have a little new information that hadn't been developed yet, but it's there. There's a long-term battle. We're going to stay it till the end. And those that know Mr. Dean up in San Francisco, the big shot, that's looking good on one side of his face, and on the other side of the face he's saying that he's losing $400 million in one of his community hospitals. How can that be? I don't understand it. How you can look brilliant and money-saving master on the right, then on the left you're a $400 million, one of your hospitals is $400 million in debt, and you're trying to at least take it over and close it down. And that's what we're fighting against. We're fighting against the community hospital that's very important to this community.
We're fighting for it.
Yeah, we're fighting for it to stay open and stay viable and stay for this community. And the community seems not to want it this time to get involved. And I can understand the people that work there at the hospital. These guys fire them. These guys get rid of them. So if you open your mouth, you're liable to lose your job. And jobs are hard to find.
But if you already lost your job.
Yeah, if you've already lost it.
And you have information about this.
Sure, bring
call
it in.
us.
Call us
I mean, you don't have to be. You don't have to be on the air.
You don't have to be on the air.
Just call the station. You can call that number. Our engineer will take your name, and I'll talk to you privately.
Right.
And then we'll investigate.
We investigate because we don't want foolishness out here. We want facts, and we have facts so far.
That's right.
And facts we should prevail. So we just keep beating it and keep talking to people and keep asking people.
Don't allow Dignity Health to take over Community Hospital of San Bernardino.
Don't allow it.
You should actually get out there and picket.
Yeah,
protest.
For a lot of years there, the doctors seen the need for another community hospital or another hospital besides St. Bernardine's in county. So they put this community hospital together. It grew. When Sammy Davis Jr. was injured in the 50s, he decided that this hospital, that it saved his life really and saved his sight. They only saved one eye, but that was good enough for him. He did pretty good with one eye. And then
he had a fundraiser.
Yeah, he had a fundraiser
to help.
And he raised money to rebuild this hospital like it is today, and to really
for the community, not for a corporation,
not for a corporate moneymaker, but for the community. So people that were ill and had accidents and whatever would get better treatment, and they did for years and years.
So don't let Dignity destroy what has been built up for that community and serves it quite well.
That's right. And we are developing new information. So those people that are, they were once described by their chief financial officer as crooks, a bunch of crooks, and it's on the record. That's how he described them.
Several former board members have said that too.
Yeah, many board members have said that.
And I've contacted the FBI. They've got their hands full right now with other investigations, but I'm sure they'll come back to this one.
But guys, this isn't going to go away until they do close the hospital and do what they do. And that's really, you guys can still pick it and still do something, but why not do it now before they close it, before you lose more services?
Mm-hmm.
You're losing services. Go to the hospital. You guys that just don't believe me, go to the hospital, walk through it, and see the floors that are closed, and ask them why. Ask them why there's no X-ray anymore. Ask them these questions.
Well, the newspapers should be doing that, but they don't.
They don't.
And I've talked to politicians. That's the
gal one that exposed this in 2004.
The city council should be fighting for this.
Sure.
Our state senator should be fighting. Mike Morrell, where are you?
Where are you?
Yeah, fight for your. Try to keep that thing open. And Cheryl Brown, she knows all about it.
She knows more than
even
most.
Though it's not in her.
Yeah,
but they own the Black Voice.
Yeah,
they were very critical of that at one point.
Very with George Dimely, a state senator, they were really crusaders. Had block parties and
tried to
like
keep
the Tea
it open.
Party. Yeah, they tried to keep it open.
Pete Aguilar, our congressman,
sure,
he knows about it. I've sent him all this information. Haven't heard a word.
Not a word, guys. Why?
He's your congressman. Get a hold of him and say, hey, we want to keep this hospital.
Text them, ring their deals off. I mean, they're approachable, please.
And November is coming up.
Yeah, vote those out that don't help.
Yeah, vote them out if they're not helping.
And none of them have so far, so vote for the other way is a good way to vote right now.
Darn right.
Just vote completely against the ones that are incumbent and see what happens.
Because they're doing nothing.
Yeah,
Absolutely
wake them up.
Nothing.
They're doing nothing across the board.
Yep. So what more can we do?
What? Just stay mad as hell, I guess.
Yeah. We're asking them to do the
yeah,
same
we're
thing.
asking you guys to do it. You know, you're going to get mad as hell, I guarantee, if you let it continue.
Well, what's the new immigration law?
Oh, let's hear about that. That's something I need to hear about.
Here's the solution to the problem of immigration.
Let's hear the solution.
We should pass it in law.
Okay, good.
There will be no special bilingual programs in schools.
Okay.
Number 2, all ballots will be in the nation's language.
Oh, my goodness.
All government business will be conducted in our language.
What a novel thing.
Non-residents will not have a right to vote no matter how long they are here.
Hey, that's a good idea.
Non-citizens will never be able to hold political office.
Good.
Foreigners will not be a burden to the taxpayers. No welfare, no food stamps, no health care, or any other government assistance program. Any who are a burden will be deported.
Yeah, and then they can get their welfare at home.
Yeah. Foreigners can invest in this country, but it must be in the amount of at least equal to 40,000 times the daily minimum wage.
Yeah, okay.
If foreigners come here and buy land, their options will be restricted. Certain parcels, including waterfront properties, are reserved for citizens naturally born in this country.
Okay.
Now, foreigners may have no protests, no demonstrations, no waving of foreign flags, no political organizing, no bad-mouthing our president or his policies.
Sure.
These will lead to deportation. If you do not come to this country illegally, if you do come to this country illegally,
that's right.
You will be actively hunted and when caught, sent to jail until your deportation can be arranged. All your assets will be taken from you.
Good.
Now, this law is currently in effect.
Yeah, just...
in Mexico.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. I remember that. That's the Mexican rule, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Oh, boy.
Yeah,
don't go to Mexico, guys. You can get in trouble.
She was on the other foot, and the Mexicans from... Yeah, this is ridiculous.
And they put you in there and think you're guilty until found innocent.
These are their laws.
That's right. Those are the Mexican laws.
Countries
isn't that wonderful, you know?
Other countries have similar laws,
sure,
except us. They said, come here.
Yeah.
Well,
I don't mind welcoming people to come to our country, but there's a legal way to do it.
Yeah.
And most of the people that are here, or used to be most of the people, did that. They come legally.
Yep.
They don't want to be labeled illegal.
That's for sure.
It used to be a mark against you.
We got a lot of things to cover yet, but we got another commercial coming up.
Okay.
And after that commercial, I want to remind people to call us 1-909-888-5222 and
1-888-909-1050.
Yeah, that's a long distance number.
And remember, we're mad as hell, so if you call in after the show or at any time that we're not here, tell the message is for I'm mad as hell, and we'll get it.
They'll pass it on to us.
Sure.
Is it that time? Your car needs a smog check? Well, check out Quick Smog Check in Montclair. They guarantee your vehicle will pass, or you pay not a thing. That's right. If it doesn't pass the test, what the heck? You don't have to pay. So what's the reason why you're not calling them? The number 909-626-5436. You can also drive right down there now. 5438 Holt Boulevard in Montclair. They're open 9 to 5, 6 days a week, Monday through Saturday. Do it now. No wait smog checks at Quick Smog Check in Montclair. 909-626-5436.
Just when you thought you couldn't wait any longer, Lloyd and Greg are back.
Oh, yeah, that's what I was reading.
Yeah.
I was just reading that. Yeah.
Well, we got to... I want to bring this one up first.
Okay, do that first. And then we'll do
this is something else. I got to read the headline. This was Saturday.
Saturday?
Yeah, July 9th. That's the day.
Okay.
Look at this. Divorced Catholics must avoid sex. Whoa! Wait a minute. Divorced Catholics must avoid. And it says in Philadelphia, the head of the Roman Catholic Church in Philadelphia is closing the door opened by Pope Francis to letting civilly remarried Catholics receive communion, saying the faithful in his archdiocese can only do so if they abstain from sex and live as brother and sister.
Oh, my God.
I'm sure that's going to be effective.
Yeah, it's sure not biblical. Yeah. You know, the Lord says that you married, a husband and wife should come together and have union and share their bodies with each other. He doesn't tell you to be brothers and sisters. He doesn't say that.
See that.
That's incest.
Wait a minute.
Well, they're not going to abstain.
Well, that's true.
Come on, that's a lie. That's a Hillary.
Sister, yeah.
That's a Hillary Clinton there. Oh, I abstained. Sure you did.
What's your story?
Okay, this is about a guy several years ago. He had killed some homeless guy, set him on fire. Now the guy has attacked two.
I read that.
Yeah, two in San Diego. They arrested him. Anyway, he said the man accused of a spate of attacks on homeless people who were asleep, and in some cases set them on fire, was sentenced to prison 6 years ago for a strikingly similar crime. CBS News Channel 8 in San Diego reports that Anthony Alexander Paget, 36, was convicted of mayhem and sentenced to 4 years in prison for a 2010 attack on a 49-year-old homeless friend who was also set ablaze in Chula Vista.
Oh, that's a nice friend, huh?
Yeah, very good friend. Friends
set
like
him on
that,
fire.
You really don't need enemies, right? I'm going to light your fire. I guess that was like a song. Paget was arrested Thursday about a block from a trolley station in Chula Vista, the San Diego suburb where he was born. He was booked into jail on suspicion of murder, attempted murder, and arson in the attacks on four homeless men in San Diego that left 2 dead and 2 severely injured. Authorities told the Star News of Chula Vista in 2012 that Paget was homeless and that he set fire to a friend who was sleeping in a supermarket parking lot. The victim suffered burns over nearly 30% of his body, according to the newspaper. Prosecutors have sought an 8-year prison term. And then
well, you know, what surprises me
is
and he sets fire to a guy in the first place, and he gets out in a few years.
Yeah, in a couple of years.
I mean, he should have been there for life.
And a long time anyway.
Or in a mental institution.
In a mental institution.
He should have been at Patton State Hospital.
Yeah, that's exactly right. That's what they do. That's where
they
go.
Does. They let him out, and he kills 2 more people and sets 2 more on fire.
Yeah, and the San Diego police captain declined to comment Friday on a connection between the attacks and the 4 assaults this week. Yeah, sure. He said they bore similar hallmarks. And they were, of course, the recent victims were sleeping, and it was the same thing, same deal. And he said all 4 suffered extensive trauma to the upper torso, and then they wouldn't elaborate on it.
Well, this is just an example of our judicial system allowing these people out when they shouldn't be there, period.
Yeah, this
There's
guy,
danger.
51-year-old homeless guy, said he don't want to wake up burning.
No.
Okay.
So he stays awake all night.
Yeah. So you have to stay awake all night.
You got to look at the judicial system that allows this to happen.
That's right.
Time and time again.
Time again.
And I'd say, you know, the parole board, if this happens just like they let murderers out in a few short years.
Sure.
And they said, and they commit another murder, they should go back to the parole board and say, hey, you guys are going to jail.
Yeah, what justified you? You'd have to justify why you let this guy out.
You know, there's there should be more psychiatric examinations.
Much more.
And they're not doing a thorough job.
No, they're not doing their job.
They just said, hey, we're overloaded on our
upon intake, when they take these guys in, and there's a big process when they take and arrest somebody. It's usually from a county facility into a state facility. You don't automatically go into a state prison. There's a county time, and during that time, there's a lot of people available to examine these guys and send them into mental institutions where they belong. You know, there's a good screening, but they don't do it.
We've got so many mentally ill patients that are in our regular prison population.
Oh, yeah, they put them in there. They
shouldn't be in there.
They should not. their only crime is they got addicted to some addictive drug, and then that drug just fried their brain. And with a little dry out, a little time with the right type of evaluation, the right type of psychiatric help.
And the recidivism rate on these people, they keep coming
huge,
back to the system, costing us millions and millions of dollars as taxpayers. And when you should just lock them up and treat them.
Yeah.
They can't be left in society. They can't be let out.
They can't be
just
let
like
out.
this guy that burned those people.
Right, and you let him out again in 4 or 5 years, guess what? Somebody's going to get burnt.
Yeah.
Yeah,
again.
And it's not hard to get matches. It's not hard to get those things. They're not regulated yet. Yeah, I'm angry.
Here's the Consumer Reports.
Okay.
I kind of ruined my life by going to college.
Well,
and this is true. There's so many
a lot of
kids
people
out there.
That's right.
I feel that and this is Jackie Noen, 32 of Portland, Oregon. She still owes $152,000 student debt.
Jeez.
And it's hard for her to even pay this back. Yeah. And a lot of the banks that loan this money and stuff like that, there is no forgiveness. It goes on forever.
That's right.
I understand Obama did allow certain forgiveness this last month. He was talking about that, but he said step by step, one law after another has been enacted by Congress to make student debt the worst kind of debt for Americans and the best kind for banks and debt collectors.
Oh, yeah, probably.
Today, just about everyone involved in student loan industry makes money off of our students, the banks, private investors, even the federal government. Once in place, the privatized student loan industry has largely succeeded in preserving its status in Washington. And in one of the industry's greatest lobbying triumphs, student loans can no longer be discharged in bankruptcy except in rare occasions.
Oh, they can't be KM anymore.
No.
I'll be darned. That's really something.
Then that's been in place for a long time.
Has it?
Oh, yeah.
I thought they could.
But a lot of the elite avoid paying student loans,
Sure
and they
do.
owe the most.
They owe the
like
most.
doctors and lawyers, they form their own corporation that can't be sued.
They can't be sued, yep.
And they track these people down. In fact, the news, Channel 4 and Channel 2 in L.A., followed some of these doctors and lawyers around and said, hey, why don't you pay back your student loan? You're driving a brand new Porsche or this Mercedes. You got this mansion over here. They won't talk to them at all.
Won't talk to them at all.
No, of course not. They're avoiding that, and they owe $200,000, $300,000.
But I'm kind of a deal. If you make it, if you make the grade and you get employed into where you go to school for, I think they should forgive a portion of your loan. I do. I think that should be forgivable because you're working.
Well, they do if you're a doctor, if you go to medical school.
I don't think you have to be
and then you go to work for the federal government, they'll forgive that.
Forgive that.
Or if you join the service as a doctor, you can perform.
Yeah. Okay.
You can do a lot of
so
these
there are
things.
ways to do it then.
But there's so many people, they go after the little guy.
Yeah, the guy.
Here's Jesse Surin of Philadelphia, LaSalle University. Student loan was $72,000. Now it's $90,000. Pays $900 a month. And a lot of these kids are moving back home because they can't afford. They work in part-time jobs. They work at minimum wage jobs, and they just can't get ahead.
Sure.
And I know one girl who's a relative who graduated from UC Irvine years and years ago. They kept after her every job, and she was trying to pay it back minimally. So much every month, they would take so much out. And this was 20 years after she graduated. It still wasn't cleared up. And she still owed a few $1,000s. And
now they're still messing with her.
Yeah.
That's
it never goes away.
It never goes away. That's
and
a
I mean,
shame.
These.
Well, consumer debt is gone in 4 years. They can't collect anymore.
No, but
they got a lawsuit.
Students today should consider other avenues.
Sure, they should. If that goes on like that, they should.
Tech schools are hiring.
Sure.
And they're hiring their graduates like machinists. This friend of mine, his son completed machinist school, got a job directly out of school.
Sure.
makes over $100,000 a year.
Yeah, well, they
can't find good machinists.
That's right, and you can also go in there and they'll train you the way they want to too. You know?
And I think his student liability was 40-some thousand. He's already paid it back.
He's already paid it back.
Several years.
Yeah, well,
that's it.
That's it.
I mean if you're going to go to a trade school.
Yeah.
You know, they're
good.
They're not as expensive, and you can learn a trade or go to a junior college trade school.
Sure.
You know, they used to have quite a few here at Valley College.
That's right. And you'll know if you need an extensive higher education in your deal, and
some of these unions have apprenticeship programs that you can get in.
Sure, the
trade
is the way to go.
Operating engineers, the electrical union, plumbers unions, all these have apprenticeship programs, and you should look into that. Well, instead of going to a 4-year college where you can't find a job. There's so many people,
when you're really not sure, you know, that
40%
you want to do that.
of those who graduate from college can't find a job in their career field.
I know MDA. My son was telling me he got an MDA, but he's in the service, so of course they use him. But he said a lot of people can't find jobs in that career goal, and that was supposed to be the hot job getter.
I advised a friend of mine who said that he applied for a lot of jobs, and he said, "Oh, you're overqualified. You got a master's degree." And they said, he said, "What do I do?" I said, "Don't mention it."
Yeah.
Tell them you just had a bachelor's, and that qualifies you for the job. After you get the job, say, "Oh, shoot, I forgot I got a master's." They're not going to fire you because of it.
No.
But if you put it down, you may be
overqualified. Not get it.
You're
overqualified.
So think about that. You know, these are all things that students should think about.
Sure.
But they're, just because it doesn't assure you a job.
That's right.
By having a college degree. Say, well, you got to get an education. Some of the most educated people I know were self-taught.
Self-taught, yeah, I know that too. Some of the most skilled and most capable people are just
next week. Yeah. If if anybody wants to be on the program, give us a call.
Give us a call.
Yeah, and we should have a guest.
Get your questions up and call us. You know, we're here from noon to 1. Give us a call on something you might be thinking about.
Try not to stay mad as hell, but I mean it's difficult in today's society.
Okay. And also, I want to just say hi to my Ohio friend and ask her to take care of her hand. She got bit by a dog she was breaking up a dog fight, got bit. So I hope her the best.
Well, just like a human fight, you might get hurt too.
Yeah, you might get hurt too. She got hurt pretty bad. It bit her pretty bad.
Okay, and we'll send our condolences out to the families and friends
of all the
police officers that have been
killed or injured
in this last go around. And
just stay safe out there if you can, and diligent. Don't shoot those you shouldn't shoot, and don't hesitate to shoot the ones you should.
That's I don't know.
That's the only way to keep you alive, right?
Yeah, that's true. Well, until next week, we'll see you.
See you guys. Thanks.
They say freak when you're singled out. The red, well, it filters through. So lay down.
You're listening to KCAA, Loma Linda, California. The best station in the nation.
Your NBC Sports Radio update starts now.
Into the record books. This is Maria Marino. Serena Williams has tied Steffi Graf for a number of major titles with 22. She repeated at Wimbledon with a straight sets win over Angelique Kerber in today's women's final and said her